Hello, this is another day that we are meeting as a seminar whereby we will be looking on the integration in Africa. First of all, we need to look on what is all about when it talks about integration. Looking on the forward, we might see that integration, these are connections that exist in two different countries who are belonging in Africa. As a SADC region, they come across and then they agree that let's come up with in integration, which is a connection that exists for them to boost their economy. As we know, in Africa, more especially in the SADC region countries, we are living in a lahu whereby we are focusing or whereby we are dealing with the issue, deal with the poverty that we are integrating. So on today's topic, we are going to look on the integration in Africa, but mainly will focus on what SADC region is doing to overcome or to come up with the best idea on this issue of integration. For instance, we might look that African economy is now in a launa whereby they don't know what is going on. Every country in Africa is having challenges, issues concerning about economy. But we might say that Africa is well known or is rich in mineral sources. But when it comes to the issues issues about economy, they are down. So African leaders, African state leaders, they come across and then they say, let's come up with and integration, whereby people from this side and this side, people from this state to this state, they will be going into different countries, buy things, export and import things without earning any tax, without paying any tax. So we might see that this is the best way that can help to boost our economy as Africa. We also come across in the issue about African to be in a long of inflation. In most African countries, they are suffering in this disease of inflation. Most African countries, they are suffering in this immuno disease of inflation, whereby they don't know what's going on. When we look about the funds that we get from World Bank as well as IMF, International Monetary Fund, we might see that most of the time this fund they come across to us, but which not with the help, with the main purpose of help, but sometimes they come with in a way by we need to turn back it after so long time. So because of this issue, IMF and World Bank, they always focus on African states that what you need to do to boost your economy, you should devaluate or evaluate your dollars. Let's speak about Malawi. We always use kwachas. As of now, we are experiencing inflation, devaluation of 25%, which means the kwacha has reduced the power from the power that he had to 25% of reducing of the power. So this is not only Malawi, but we also see other African states still climbing, still mangling in this laguna of inflation. So as a SADC region and president, they come across and they agree that let's come up with a way whereby we can help one another, whereby we can come up with a solution to this crisis that we are embedded to. So they said we need to have what we call integration. As I said earlier on, that integration is a connection of different states so that they can do free trade area among them. So this one happens in SADC region, Southern Africa Development Committee, whereby it comprises some of the countries who are belonging to the Southern Africa Development Committee. For example, Malawi, we have Mozambique, we have Zimbabwe, and so many others. So looking on this scenario that we are focusing on integration, and we also looked at, is this integration helping Africa or is only helping the one state or one region? We might see that integration still exists, but we are still having some challenges that are entangling us as Africans. I said earlier on about the issue of inflation. It's not only 2 or 3 countries that are in these problems, but this inflation has affected a lot of African states. So what can be the solution for an Africa to come up in this lacuna of inflation? By looking on the integration, it gives us opportunity as Africans, whereby we can have free trade area. People will be exporting and importing goods from one state to the other at a free range, whereby by doing that, it will help the SADC region. They are part and parcel of this integration system by encouraging a free trade market area, whereby countries who are belonging to SADC region, they will be trading, exporting and importing goods and services freely at a particular minimum of time. I want to give you an example of my nation, Malawi, whereby people can buy things, they can export and import things from neighboring four countries, Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania, as well as Zimbabwe, at a free range system, whereby they will buy or they will export things at a free range for every 2 weeks of the month. So looking on this integration issue, this one we might see that the economy of the country can be boosted up without waiting for the fund. Because most of the time when we look on the African, we are depending on other people. We are always looking forward for an assistant that will come from World Bank, that will come from INF. So many institutions that helps us as Africans. By looking on that, we will not even develop. The best idea is to look on the market system. What are we doing as Africa? What have we come across as Africa so that we can be dependent by the end of the day? We're also looking on the economical crisis in Africa. Economical crisis in Africa is embedded. It has been a story for all over African continent, in the sense that you cannot even say this is good unless you look at the order of the issue. In Africa, most of the African, they are having this economic crisis because of what we call high illiteracy rate. Looking on the numbers of people who are able to study and read, they are few in most African countries, which means because they are not well educated, it will be hard for them to get employed. It will be hard for them to earn money at a particular moment of time. So because of that, they are living in a lacuna whereby they don't know what will come next. By the end of the day, they will just have something that will be hand to mouth. So the crisis of economy, or economic crisis in Malawi, in Africa rather, it has been a challenge. But we are not focusing on that for today. We are talking about integration. What Africa is doing to help us to be developed as our friends in Europe did. I will take you back in the ancient time, whereby we look on the civilization people who came. As we know that we are in a new colonial system, whereby things are being exported by whites, but in another new system. So we are looking on the economical as well as resources that we have. As I said that Africa, we are rich in economy, but looking on we are rich rather in our resources, but looking on our economy is down because we are being exploited by these people who are Europeans. We are being exploited. Our mineral resources are being exploited day and night all over, in a system whereby we don't know even what they are doing by sending us, by doing those issues. I said, I will give you we'll build a stadium for you, so give us the place. In such doing, inside they are also exploiting our mineral resources. I'll give you an example of DRC, whereby in DRC there are so many what we call mineral resources. By such mineral resources, people, they are being exploited, and these mineral resources are being exploited by different whites or by different Chinas who are there. They are saying, we want to build a road, we want to come up with a road from Lubumbashi to Kinshasa. For several times they have been talking about this, but there's no any improvement, in the sense that they are doing all this stuff taking our mineral resources as Africa. That's why African countries in SADC region, they said, let's come up with our integration. Let's come together as Africa. When we come together as Africa, we'll be able to partake, we'll be able to share the ideas. And then by the end of the day, we'll see that Africa will come as a better land to stay. For now, we need to take a little bit break.